So here's an overview of the ThemeMaker WordPress theme. So just a quick overview so that you can know how to use it quickly without going through all the tutorials. So you have here templates, elements, and presets that all comes with ThemeMaker once installed. So basically, templates is pages that you create. If you know how to create templates yourself, for example, changing the PHP pages, this is what it does. So for example, if you want to create a template for all the post pages, this is where you do it. If you want to create a template for, I don't know, a specific type of a custom post type, this is where you're going to do that. If you want to create a template for 404 pages, this is where you're going to do that as well. Elements are parts of page. So you create a block, for example, a form, or you create a block with different icons and text. You want to save that and reuse it somewhere else on another page or in the same page. Then you will create an element. Preset is a little bit more confusing here. Similar to elements in a certain way, but these are presets that are already given to you with ThemeMaker. You can create your own as well, but these are pretty similar to elements, to be quite honest. Then we have the ThemeMaker. By the way, ThemeMaker comes with Slider Revolution. It will ask you also to install contact form, but this one is free. Slider Revolution is not free, but of course the free version comes with ThemeMaker. So the options for ThemeMaker are there. So very quickly, let's start with that first. You have, of course, the general elements. I won't go through all of them one by one, but you have the general settings where you can change your logo, you can change the colors, you can add social icons here and decide later on where you want to put them. If you want to add some JavaScript or some CSS code, this is where you can put it as well. Then you have the different layout options for the background, for the page layout, if you want to have a full width or box layout and so on. The main colors, so you can change the primary color and secondary color. This is not necessarily text colors, by the way. So these, I'm going to show it to you later, but these will appear when you select the colors. So in other words, you can have up to 4 different predefined colors that you can apply to different elements. So that's pretty cool. That can be a big time saver for later. Then you have the typography options, regular text and for links and so on. The navigation here, so for drop down menu, and you have the options for mobile navigation. These are mostly colors, as you can see. Buttons as well, predefined buttons, but of course you can customize them when you apply them to a page. Content settings, the page builder here, so you can disable the page builder that comes with ThemeMaker for posts of pages, and of course if you have other custom types as well. Usually you don't want to do that, of course. The license is where you're going to add the license. Tools is mostly when you want to import or export different themes, because now ThemeMaker, it has been released. I didn't test it yet, but the kind of template market has been released. So you can share your templates that you create with somebody else and import templates created by someone else. And of course, you can do the same thing for yourself if you want to be able to use them from one site to another. Templates are templates that are pre-made for you. Some come with ThemeMaker, others you have to buy them. So you will see them. For example, if I mouse over this one, I can preview it like that. And of course, I can also import it by clicking the import, or here it's going to give you a video to tell you how to import them. And right now, my site has this one. You see it, you can re-import it, or you can uninstall it if you want to, instead of resetting WordPress. I don't have any here on that home page, I think, that are not available, but you see the marketplace, so you can buy them if you want to. And the admin section here might depend on your version, by the way, but here you can lock different things as well. So this is the general options for the theme. Let's go with let's start with the templates. Let's see it like that. So I have some pre-made templates here. when I imported my theme, my template. So let's see, for example, the home page one. So at the top you have the ThemeMaker builder, which is the same one as what you're going to have in a page, on a regular page, by the way. So we're going to come back to this one later. And you see here at the bottom where you want to apply this template. So if you use default, it's going to be all the pages. In this case, it's selected only for front page, so only the main or home page will have that template applied to it. If you select default, like I said, all the pages will have it. You can also set it just for blogs, for single page, for archives, search, and so on. Okay, the text if WooCommerce is installed as well, even if it's not installed, as you can see, they are there, but of course they will not work in this case. And you have post loops as well. So simply have to check. You can check more than one option, by the way, so you can apply the same template to both front page and archive, for example, if you wanted to. You see that this one is applied to the front page, but you could take a look at the other ones as well if they have some applied to them. Now let's move up to the builder itself. So as you can see, you can click on insert a row to insert a new row, but you can also, when you mouse over it, you have different options for different pre-made layout, if we can say it like that. So 2 columns, 3 columns, and so on. But if you just insert a row, it's going to be a 1-column row where you can add elements after that to it. So you can click here and drag to move it up, down. You can click on that little pencil here to edit the row. And as you can see, you will always have the options by default anyway at the bottom, and you will have a preview of the page, or in this case of the row, of the section of the row. So if you have other elements surrounding it, you will still see them right there above. You can change the background, have a transparent background, have a white background, a black background, and so on. So that could be useful if you, for example, you're working with a transparent logo. Of course, you won't see it, so you can change that to be a black background. And this is not a way to change it for the front page when you export. This is just temporarily for you to see it well directly there. Okay. You can switch from the desktop view to the tablet view to the mobile view there as well, and you can do it somewhere else also. Here you have the different options for the row, so the styling options here, so all the width, the background colors, and so on. I won't go through detail for all of them. This is where you can add some classes and IDs for that as well. And you have the mobile styling here if you want to have something different. So just what is different in this particular case for the background is the only option that we can change for the row itself. Once you're done, you can click save. Of course, I didn't change anything, so I can just click on cancel. Then you can insert column here, so you can add as many columns as you want. You can resize them. So it uses the bootstrap layout, so it will probably, even if you're between two different values, like here 22.87, when you release it, it's gonna make it rounded, okay, to 25 or something like that. You can duplicate the row very quickly like that. And you can also deactivate the row, so it will still be there, but it won't be visible on the end page. So that can be useful if you just want to deactivate something temporarily. I wouldn't necessarily recommend leaving it like that. So let's take a look at some elements that are there. Okay, so for example here, at the top here, we have the select mode. This is something that was introduced in ThemeMaker. So when you click on that, you can select one cell or many rows and things like that. You just click and drag to copy elements. It will tell you how many elements are selected. And then you can just click on copy, and you can go on another page and simply come into a row like that, right click and say paste to paste the content. So that can be useful for one page to the other. Of course, in the same page, you can simply use the duplicate element. You can insert custom CSS just for that page as well. Page presets here, so you can save or load a preset. I don't know if I have any preset here in this particular case, so let's try that. Yeah, so the ones that comes with ThemeMaker are visible there. So you have a bunch of presets that come with it, that comes with it. So different categories, and for example, if I want to have just, I don't know, you have here footer, you have, I don't see header, okay, pro headers here, and so on. There's probably just header somewhere, but I skipped it. Here at the bottom. Okay, so you can use that simply. Um, Now, this was the options for the row. As you can see, when you mouse over here, you can always move a column as well. And you have the options here. These are nested rows. So this is for the nested row here in this particular case. But when you mouse over here, you can just target that one column as well. So if I click there, these are the options for the column, not the entire row. So again, you have the option for responsive, whether you want it to take the full width or just, for example, 50% if you want to have two elements side by side and things like that. Many other options, like I said, box shadow and so on. So I won't cover everything here. So these are for the options for the column. You can delete a column as well if you want to. Then we have elements. So if I click on insert element, I'm going to be able to insert a new element to the current column in this case. So as you can see, we have the basic elements, so buttons, heading, which is the title, let's say heading 1, 2, 3, and so on. Images, a spacer, text, and row, if you want to create a nested row. We also have the interactive elements, so accordion, carousel, flip box, so a box that when you mouse over will flip to reveal content. Mockup carousel, this is something pretty new. It wasn't there when we released it. So it is, in other words, if you want to have a mockup of, I don't know, for example, an iPad, and then insert a content inside of it, so it would show you how it looks like on that device. The navigation menu, in other words, a pop-up, the tab, and tooltips. Then we have content, so an alert box. We have the blog, so you use that, for example, when you want to display posts. The button bar, button, call to action, pre-style things. A content placeholder, so you're going to use that if you want to display, I don't know, for example, a specific post, or if you want to display WooCommerce elements, you're going to use a content placeholder and then style it. I'm going to show it to you after. Custom elements, heading again. This time with icons, icon list, promotion box, and text. So shortcode as well. The media, audio gallery, again image, logo. So logo will take the logo from the if you use the I'll say that the customize feature here. So the website logo, in other words. So in other words, if you go there and change a logo, it's going to change that automatically as well. Video. So extra, you can insert code, HTML, and I think we use that for shortcodes as well. A countdown timer, divider, a Google map, newsletter, page embed. So this is if you want to create a page and you want to insert the content of that page into another page, you're going to use the page embed. Okay, so it was used, for example, in ProStyler because it was different than ThemeMaker. So you, for example, you create a whole page as a header, and then you insert it on the page and the other pages. So might not be as useful with ThemeMaker since we're going to create templates instead, but can still be useful. Pricing table, progress bar, progress circle, QR code, section. So for a one-page website, if you want to have a menu that when you click goes to a specific section of the page, so you can use section to do that. In other words, going to be kind of wrapper around your element with a name and a sidebar. Then you have revolution slider if it is installed as well. So let's say, for example, I'm going to cancel that, and do I still have my, no, I'm going to insert another row. And let's say that I want to use my content placeholder here. I can give it a title. This is just for me, so I can see it in that bar. It's going to be easier to maintain after that. So I see a meaningful name will tell me what's inside of that. So for example, I don't know, post content. You can decide here whether you want to hide or show the post header, the feature image, post footer, author profile, and other comments, the comments. Then you can style it. You can copy from another element, by the way, if you want to make it faster. And you have advanced here where you can specify wrapping, well, wrapper, in other words, it's padding and margin and so on for all the devices. You can hide specific elements. So for example, you can create one row that will be visible on desktop only and another one that will be visible on tablets and mobiles, for example, if you want to change the look of it. Sometimes it's not that easy if you have something specific for all the sizes. So you can do it like that by just hiding that on specific elements. So if I hide that on tablets and mobile, it's going to be only on desktop and so on. You have help here that can lead you to training videos, and shortcodes here are not WordPress shortcodes. For example, if I create a CF7 form, this is not where I'm going to paste it. Shortcodes were there previously before the select mode was there, so now you might want to use this one instead. But if I select, for example, I'm going to cancel that. And let's say I select my navigation here. I can come here and it gives me the shortcode, so I can copy that. Okay. And then I'm going to simply go to another page and paste that shortcode. Okay. So instead of doing the select mode, this is one way to do that as well. Okay. Let's say that I want to add a text. So the options here will change, of course, depending on what you select. So I won't go into detail. You see the preview here. If you use regular text, it's going to use the same old tiny MC editor of WordPress. So it works the exact same way. You can also, by the way, add preview if you want to preview your page instead of having the preview. So it's really up to you. Now, so this is a template. This template is for the front page. So it's going to use that on the front page with the logo, navigation, and so on. If I go to a more general template, let's say post template here, you see that this one is applied automatically to all the single pages or posts. So this is where you're going to want to put your header and footer, for example. And this is also where you will have at some point either content or blog elements. So if you remember, when we add a new element, we can add content placeholder, but also blog. So you're going to want to use one of those in a page like that, because of course it's going to use that after. So here we have the blog, sorry, to insert. You can click on it anywhere, by the way, to edit the element. So where you will decide how many that you want to have, the categories, and so on. And content here as well. So we use content as well. So again, for general pages, you can decide what you want to insert there, but can be also automatically if you use WooCommerce or things like that. Now, when you create a page, let's say I'm going to open a Contact Us page. So you're going to basically build what's inside the page itself, because of course the header, footer, and so on are going to be taken from the template that you have created. So in this particular case, we select which one. So if we select no, it's going to use the default one if you have one set, of course. But you can always override that. And here we override and we say we want to use the inner page template. So it uses the templates that you have created here, and it lists them there. So inner page template, let's say if we take a look at what it looks like for now, inner page template tells you that It's not applied anywhere, but still, as you saw, we can specify it if we want to. If we wanted to have that on every single page and post, then we can just check this box if we want to. So what's inside of that? We have the logo, navigation, and button. So that's the top header. Then we have a specific text, which is the page title. So by the way, this uses a dynamic code. So it's going to always be the page title no matter what is the page. In this case, in a page template. So that's a dynamic tag. Sorry. Then we have the content. Depending on which page will be visible, of course that content will change. It's dynamic. Then we have something that is always there, subscribe to your newsletter, and we have some lorem ipsum text here and the sidebar. So if I click on my sidebar, I'm using the opt-in form. So we can create as many sidebar that we want. This is managed in the ThemeMaker settings. And of course you can add widget to them as you would usually by appearance and widgets. And at the bottom, at the footer, we have another logo and another navigation here. So that is the structure, and the content section here, this is our page that we built here. So in this particular case, this one, the contact us, will have our contact form 7 code, short code, and other text and icons here and there. So let's take a look at that. So this comes from our template, and this comes from our template as well. Not this, sorry. And this is the page itself. So this is basically how ThemeMaker is working. This is a quick overview. Of course, if you have any question, you can always ask it, and I will try to answer as best as I can. Thank you.